What up, folk? It's me. Hold up. I'm Freddie P. Back with another video. I know it's been a minute, but I needed to take some time to try and find my inspiration for this video, and it hit me this week. Twice actually. Earlier, I believe Monday or Tuesday, and actually today when I was at the job. So I had a homeboy call me, right, and he was asking me a couple of questions, and we kind of got into it, like me and him usually do, when you have different opinions. He was asking me, why is life hard? And I think, what he was trying to go for is, why is my life hard? Right? Like, why is life difficult, and why does stuff happen to me? Why I try stuff and it doesn't work out, and why is it always this? And I try to do this and it never works out, and I tried this with this and it never goes my way. And other than him, he's the only person I know that thinks that way in terms of like, why me? Nobody else I know in my life that I'm close to talks like that. So it was a little difficult for me to put the words together initially, because I don't have this conversation normally, right? So the conversation went on and it went on and it went on, and I kind of was like thinking like, dang, like how do I explain what I want to explain to him, and the conversation ended. He got a phone call. We didn't get to finish the conversation that day, and it kind of hit me later, and then it hit me later that day, and then today I overheard a conversation at my other job, and I kind of got into it with my people there. And point blank period, if you have people in your life that think like that, like, why are things always happening to me? I try things and they don't work out, and it seems like I'm not meant to do better than where I'm at now. Or people that just seem like they're always, it seems like the negative is really big on their life, but you never hear them really praising the positive, right? My thing is, because I know him, right, I can say this, right? So you'd have to speak for whoever it is you're talking to, but I know him, right? So my thing is, if you're somebody that's like that, point blank period, you're not built to win, right? As harsh as that may sound to some people, you're not. And what I mean by that is, everybody, regardless of if you're a Christian, if you're Muslim, Hindu, whatever the case may be, everybody understands the impact of a person's energy, of someone's spirit, right? Everybody understands that, because energy, your spirit, is something that people can read or feel most of the time before you even say a word to them, right? So if you have a spirit of negativity, if you have a spirit of defeat, if you have the energy of, you always feel like you're a loser, right? For instance, that comes through in your work, that comes through in your conversation, right? You can see it in somebody's relationships, right? You can hear it in their tone, right? You can hear it whenever stuff goes bad. You can always see it's instinct. It's instinctively in somebody if they have the spirit of defeat or the energy of a loser, right? And it's like, that's not to be negative in terms like you are a loser. That's just the energy that you have, that you give off. Like, things don't go your way. Oh, well, that's normal. Woe is me. Like, I'm not like that. Nobody else around me is like that other than him, right? And it's like, you have to understand that, as much as we went back and forth, and he would always tell me he would tell me, stuff like, I've tried to listen to some of the stuff that you told me before, and I've changed my mindset about, I think more positively, and I don't get mad about stuff as quickly as I used to. It's like, that's all good. Those are all very positive small changes, but they're not big enough to actually help you overcome what it is that you're talking about right now, which is why this stuff always happened to me. And that's your spirit, right? The first point is your spirit, right? The second thing is your actions, right? Your actions have to line up with your spirit, and both of those have to line up with the things that you're saying, which obviously they don't, because if they did, then things would be working out for you in a more positive way. Because if as of right now, you're dealing with a lot of stuff that you're complaining about. That's because your words, your spirit, and your actions don't match up. So to put that into perspective, I kind of had two examples, right? One or two. Let's see if I can remember both of them. One, actually, no, I do have two. Whenever you go to a store, right? Say you're going to somewhere in retail or anywhere with cashiers, right? Grocery store, supermarket, clothing store, whatever the case may be. Everybody in here can tell the difference between an employee that enjoys being at their job, even though it's a menial job, right? You work in retail. I've never met anybody that actually super enjoyed working retail, but you can like being at your job. And somebody that really dislikes being there. You can tell, right? It comes through in their tone. It comes through in their actions, right? There's never been any place I've ever worked where somebody could say I wasn't a positive employee, but other customers have complained to me at different jobs I've had about other employees because of their energy, because of their tone, right? Your mood is set by your energy. If your energy for the day is negative, that's going to come through. As much as you might try to fake it with a smile, everybody can tell, right? People can tell when you faking. People can tell when you BSing. So it's like, that's one example. So the same thing is going for in your life, right? If your energy is that of losing, that's going to come through in your work. That's going to come through in your tone. That's going to come through in your relationships. Things don't go your way. Oh, woe is me. Every time I try to talk to somebody, it never works. Every time I try to do something, I try to get out of a situation, it never goes my way. Because you never have the energy that things are going to work out from the jump. You might be positive in your mind about a situation, but when it's not in here and your actions don't really match up with that, it's going to come through and it's going to be the same thing every single time, right? The other example I had was coming home from just shopping right now. I was at a supermarket, right? My thing is, I compare it to this. You know those people that stand outside of liquor stores, they're not really doing much with their life, right? They get a little bit of money and then they go and spend that on some alcohol, right? The people that are always complaining, that have that negative spirit, are like those people, right? And this is what I mean. If you have the ability to save up money, right? But you don't, you're not going to change your immediate situation in the long term, right? You're only going to change small things in today, tomorrow, the next day, maybe this week, right? You going to get that alcohol is a bad investment because it's not going to anything that's going to help you in the long term, right? Just like if you have a job and you're not investing that money in yourself, say something happens to where you're going to need your finances. Now you don't have the money to take care of yourself because you didn't invest it wisely when you had it, right? That's the same thing as those people that spend that little bit of money they get on alcohol at the liquor store, complaining to God, why isn't my situation changing? Like, I try to do this, I try to do that. When you get something that is meant to help you, you devalue it, and now it no longer has the ability to help you because you got rid of it. You feel me? Like, those people had the ability to take whatever money it is they got from whatever they did, whether it was a job that got them straight cash or they somebody on the street and they got that money. Save it. Invest it in yourself and use it for the future. Same thing with people that's always in the negative, that have that negative, I'm a loser type spirit, right? You have to be able to, that's exactly what I mean when I say it starts inside here. Because if this isn't right, you're never going to be able to recognize the small stuff that comes into your life that's going to help you change for the long term, right? That's my whole point right there. I was thinking all this time about how to get that across. That's my point right there. You got something to help you get across or get through whatever it is you're going through. You didn't value it because you weren't able to recognize what it was there for, right? Now that it's gone, you're in an even worse situation than when you did have it, and you don't have the ability to change it. Now your situation is worse, or just as bad as when you did have it. And that comes from not having your spirit right. If your spirit is not right, then your energy is not right. And when you go out into the world wanting change and your energy is not right, you're going to miss out on blessings. You're going to miss out on opportunities because your eyes aren't open as they should be. And that is an internal thing that you have to change for yourself. Nobody can do that for you, right? If you don't believe in God, You can only do that for yourself, right? I was raised in the church. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. I know I'm gonna be all right regardless. I've known homie. If we talking about my bro, I've known homie for 6 years, right? I was at a spot 2-3 years ago where I had 2 cars that were both older than me. They got taken away from me due to different circumstances, right? Didn't have a car for a cool minute, right? I was working retail at this corporation, and I was not happy going to work. I worked there two separate times, right? I worked on the day side and I worked overnight. I wasn't happy going to work at any point in time, ever, right? But I knew I was meant for more than just working retail and working my way up in that store. I knew I was meant for more, and I acted like it. I would have customers tell my supervisors about me all the time. You know, he was so helpful, this, that, and the third. You know, I appreciate him. You know, he deserves a raise. I would have my supervisors write me notes, right, that they would mail to my house about how good of an employee I was, right? Because I took my current situation and I applied my positive energy into that, right? I knew I'm not meant to just stay here. I'm meant for more. But while I'm here, I'm going to do my best, right? And that's going to show. You putting in hard work is one thing, but you putting in your best is another, right? So, you know, I'm at a point now, I've got a car that's younger than me. Mind you, I didn't think I was gonna have a car, period, by the time this year started. I went in December of last year, almost a year ago, looking for a completely different car. This car is better than what I went in for. I have 2 jobs. The job I go through Monday through Friday is the best job I've ever had. Best team I've ever had. Right? And I'm dealing with people that have mental and physical disabilities. It's the best job I've ever had. Right? I have 2 jobs. I have the ability to pay for my car note and my insurance. Now, because I was raised in the church, I know I put in the work, but God blessed me with this. I put in the work to get this. I put in the time to get this. I was given the ability to get this, and I went out and I got it. So I know what I'm talking about makes sense because I put in the time to watch what I'm talking about actually come into fruition in my own life. So nobody can sit here and tell me that that's only for you. No, you have to apply it to your life in the way that it needs to be applied. You can't take what I did specifically and put it towards you because you're not me. Your struggle is different. But you can't sit there and tell me, well, that only works for you, or I've tried doing this, that, and the third. No, you're not really trying. I can tell you're not really trying. Because I've known my mans for 6 years. We still going back and forth about the same things. There's nothing wrong with coming to me and having your own problems, but when we going over the same things from 6 years ago, that lets you know right there is something inside you that has to be changed. I don't know what it is. You do. Whether it's something that involves your past, something in your present, people in your past, people in your present. Something got to change. And that's only something that he and people like him can address. But that's only if you really want it bad enough. Because if you don't, you're going to be stuck there. But I've never believed I was meant to be stuck in a situation that I didn't believe was the best for me. Even now with my job, I still know I'm meant for more. Because that's just me. But I'm thankful for the position that I'm in right now because I was blessed with the opportunity to showcase what I could do. And I was given this car, I was given these jobs, and I have the ability to maintain them because I had to draw that out of me. And that was just an everyday thing showing that I'm built for this. I'm built to win. And I show that every day. I wake up and I go to work. I wake up and I go to the gym. Every day I wake up and I get in this car. I'm thankful. I say thank you, God, every day. I'm thankful for the roof over my head, the clothes on my back, the money in my bank account, the car that I drive, the family that I have, the brothers that I've made in these past 2 years. I'm thankful for my big sister. All that. So I know it works. But you got to be willing to put in that work for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to keep going through the same thing until you get it. And I don't know about y'all. I'm not built to go through the same thing over and over again. I'm tired. That's annoying. So the question isn't, like, why is life hard? It's what are you going to do? How tough are you to fight? How tough are you? Life's hard. What are you gonna do about it?